Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beginner English, the podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. We're so happy you're here with us today.
That's right, Mike. Whether you're walking to work, cooking dinner, or just relaxing at home, we're here to help you learn English in a fun and easy way.
Exactly. And speaking of easy, today we have something really special for you. We're going to talk about how you can practice English for just 30 minutes every day and still make amazing progress.
Oh, I love this topic. You know, Mike, so many of our listeners tell us they want to improve their English, but they think they need to study for hours and hours every day.
Right. They say things like, I don't have enough time, or I'm too busy with work and family. But here's the thing. You don't need to study for 3 hours a day to get better at English.
That's absolutely true. In fact, studying for 30 minutes every day is much better than studying for 3 hours once a week.
Exactly. It's like, how can I explain this? Sarah, do you go to the gym?
Yes, I do. Not every day, but I try to go regularly.
Perfect. So, would you rather exercise for 30 minutes every day or exercise for 3.5 hours just on Sunday?
Oh, definitely 30 minutes every day. If I tried to exercise for 3.5 hours in one day, I would be so tired and probably very sore the next day.
Exactly. And it's the same with learning English. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs regular practice, not just one big workout.
That's such a great way to think about it, Mike. And listeners, that's what we're going to help you with today. We'll show you exactly how to practice English for 30 minutes every day.
We'll give you simple ideas, fun activities, and practical tips that you can start using today.
And the best part, everything we share is free and easy to do at home.
So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's start learning together.
All right, Mike, let's start with the big question. Why is 30 minutes enough? I know some of our listeners might be thinking, only 30 minutes? That sounds too short.
That's a great question, Sarah. And you're right. Some people think they need to study for hours to improve. But here's what research tells us about learning languages.
Oh, I love when we talk about research. What does it say?
Well, scientists have found that our brains learn best when we study a little bit every day instead of studying a lot just once in a while.
Right. It's called distributed practice. That's a big word, but the idea is simple. Small amounts of practice spread over many days work better than big amounts of practice on just a few days.
Exactly. Think about it like this. If you want to remember a friend's phone number, would you say it once, very loudly, or would you say it quietly 10 different times throughout the day?
Definitely 10 times throughout the day. Repetition helps our memory.
Perfect. And with English, it's the same thing. When you practice every day, even for just 30 minutes, you're giving your brain many chances to remember new words and grammar.
Plus, let's be honest, 30 minutes is realistic for most people. Mike, how long do you think most people spend watching videos on their phone each day?
Oh, wow. Probably much more than 30 minutes. I've heard that many people spend 1 to 2 hours a day on social media.
Exactly. So if you can spend 2 hours watching funny videos, you can definitely spend 30 minutes improving your English.
And here's another important point, Sarah. When you study for too long, your brain gets tired. Have you ever tried to study for something for 3 hours straight?
Yes, and after about an hour, I couldn't concentrate anymore. I was reading the same sentence over and over again.
Right. That's because our brains have limits. After about 30 to 45 minutes of focused learning, we start to get mentally tired.
So 30 minutes is actually the perfect amount of time. It's long enough to learn something new, but short enough that your brain stays fresh and focused.
And listeners, here's something really encouraging. If you practice English for 30 minutes every day, that's 210 minutes per week. That's 3.5 hours.
Wow. When you say it that way, it sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. And if you do this for a whole year, that's more than 180 hours of English practice. That's amazing.
I love that math, Mike. It shows that small daily habits can create big results over time.
Exactly. And speaking of habits, that's another reason why 30 minutes works so well. It's much easier to build a habit when the activity doesn't take too much time.
Right. If someone tells you to study for 2 hours every day, you might do it for a week, but then you'll probably stop because it's too much.
But if someone tells you to study for 30 minutes every day, you think, okay, I can do that. And once you start doing it regularly, it becomes automatic.
Like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about it, you just do it because it's a habit.
Perfect example, Sarah. And that brings us to our next point. What should you do during those 30 minutes?
Great question. We have so many fun and practical ideas to share with you.
Okay, listeners, this is the part you've been waiting for. Let's talk about what you can actually do during your 30 minutes of daily English practice.
Yes, and remember, you don't have to do the same thing every day. In fact, it's better to mix different activities to keep things interesting.
Absolutely. So let's break this down into the 4 main skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing.
Perfect. Let's start with reading. Mike, what are some simple ways our listeners can practice reading English for just 10 to 15 minutes a day?
Great question. One of my favorite ideas is to read news articles written for English learners. There are websites that take real news stories and rewrite them with simpler vocabulary.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you're learning about what's happening in the world and you're practicing English at the same time.
Exactly. And here's a tip. Don't worry about understanding every single word. If you understand about 70 to 80% of what you read, that's perfect.
Right. If you understand everything, the text is probably too easy. If you understand less than 60%, it might be too difficult.
Perfect explanation, Sarah. Another great reading activity is to read children's books or young adult books in English.
Yes, some people feel embarrassed about this, but there's no need to be. These books use clear, simple language, and they often have interesting stories.
And here's something cool. You can often find these books for free at your local library, or you can read them online.
That's true. And speaking of online, let's talk about a really fun reading activity. Mike, have you ever read the comments under English YouTube videos?
Oh, yes. That's actually a great way to see how real people write in English. You can see informal language, slang, and how people express opinions.
Exactly. Just spend 5 minutes reading comments on a video about a topic you enjoy, maybe cooking, sports, or music.
Just remember that not all comments use perfect grammar, but that's okay. You're seeing how real people communicate.
Great point. Now, let's move on to listening. This is so important because understanding spoken English can be challenging for many learners.
Absolutely. And here's the good news. There are so many free ways to practice listening every day.
Right. The most obvious one is podcasts, like this one, but there are podcasts about everything: cooking, history, science, sports.
Yes. And here's my tip for listening practice. Start by listening to podcasts or videos about topics you already know well.
Oh, that's smart. Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you're really good at cooking. You could listen to an English cooking show or podcast. Because you already understand cooking, it's easier to understand the English.
I love that strategy. You're using your existing knowledge to help you understand the language.
Exactly. And gradually, you can start listening to content about topics that are new to you.
Another great listening activity is watching English movies or TV shows with subtitles. But here's the key. Don't just watch passively.
Right. Sarah, what do you mean by don't just watch passively?
Good question. I mean, don't just sit and watch like you normally would. Instead, try to actively pay attention to how the actors pronounce words or how they use common phrases.
That's a great point. You could even pause the video sometimes and repeat what the actor just said.
Yes, or you could watch a short scene twice, once with subtitles and once without subtitles.
Oh, I like that idea. It's like a little challenge for yourself.
Exactly. And remember, it doesn't have to be a full movie. Even watching a 5-minute video on YouTube counts as listening practice.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about speaking practice. This is often the most challenging part for our listeners.
Right, because you need someone to speak with, right? Well, actually, that's not always true.
Good point, Sarah. You can practice speaking even when you're alone.
Yes, one of my favorite techniques is called shadowing. Mike, have you tried this?
I have. It's really helpful. Can you explain it for our listeners?
Sure. Shadowing means listening to English audio and trying to repeat what you hear at the same time. It's like singing along to a song.
That's a perfect comparison. You play a podcast or video, and you try to speak along with the person who's talking.
Right. It helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and the natural flow of English.
And you can do this with any audio content, podcast episodes, news broadcasts, even parts of movies.
Another speaking technique is talking to yourself. I know it sounds silly, but it really works.
It's not silly at all. I do this too. You can describe what you're doing throughout your day, or you can pretend to have conversations.
Exactly. For example, when you're cooking dinner, you could say out loud, "Now I'm cutting the onions. Next, I'll heat the oil in the pan."
Or you could pretend you're explaining your day to a friend. Today, I went to work, and then I stopped at the grocery store.
These activities help you practice forming sentences quickly and naturally.
And if you do want to practice with other people, there are free language exchange websites where you can find conversation partners.
Right. You help someone practice your native language, and they help you practice English. It's a win-win situation.
Now, let's talk about the fourth skill, writing. Sarah, what are some simple ways to practice writing every day?
One of the easiest ways is to keep a simple English journal. Just write 3 or 4 sentences about your day.
That's perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, and it doesn't need to be long. Just practice forming sentences and expressing your thoughts.
Exactly. You could write things like, "Today was sunny. I had coffee with my friend Maria. We talked about our weekend plans."
Simple but effective. Another writing activity is commenting on social media in English.
Oh, yes. You can comment on English videos, photos, or posts. Just simple comments like, "Great video," or "Thanks for sharing this."
It's real communication, and it's good practice for informal writing.
And here's a fun one. You can text yourself in English, set reminders on your phone, write shopping lists, or take notes in English.
I love that. It makes English part of your daily routine.
Exactly. The key with all of these activities is consistency. It's better to do a little bit every day than to do a lot once in a while.
Perfect summary, Sarah. And now let's move on to some fun daily challenges that can make learning English even more enjoyable.
All right, Mike, this is my favorite part. Let's talk about mini challenges. These are small, fun activities that our listeners can try each day to make their English practice more exciting.
I love this idea because, let's be honest, sometimes studying can feel a bit boring. But when you turn it into a game or challenge, it becomes much more fun.
Exactly. So let's give our listeners 7 different mini challenges, one for each day of the week. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's start with Monday. How about Word of the Day Monday?
Perfect. So here's how it works. Every Monday, you choose one new English word. It could be a word you heard in a song, saw in a book, or learned from a video.
Right. And your challenge is to use that word at least 3 times throughout the day.
Yes, you could use it when talking to yourself, writing in your journal, or even in text messages.
For example, let's say your word is delicious. You might say, "This coffee is delicious." Write, "I want to cook something delicious for dinner," and text a friend about a delicious restaurant.
I love that. By the end of the day, that word will be stuck in your memory.
Absolutely. Now, what about Tuesday?
How about Tongue Twister Tuesday?
Ooh, that's fun. Tongue twisters are great for pronunciation practice.
Right. A tongue twister is a sentence that's difficult to say because it has many similar sounds, like she sells seashells by the seashore.
Exactly. So every Tuesday, you could find a new tongue twister and practice saying it clearly and quickly.
And you can find hundreds of English tongue twisters online for free. Start slowly and then try to say them faster and faster.
It's like a workout for your mouth and tongue. Great for improving pronunciation.
Exactly. Now, what should Wednesday be?
How about what's happening Wednesday?
Ooh, I like that. What do you mean?
Well, every Wednesday, you could watch or read a short news story in English and then try to explain what happened to yourself out loud.
That's brilliant. So you're practicing listening or reading and then practicing speaking all in one activity.
Right. And you're learning about current events at the same time. You could spend just 10 minutes on this.
And it doesn't have to be serious news. It could be sports news, entertainment news, or even weather reports.
Perfect. The goal is just to practice understanding information and then explaining it in your own words.
Love it. Now, Thursday. Any ideas?
How about Thinking Thursday?
Interesting. Tell me more.
So every Thursday, you could practice thinking in English instead of thinking in your native language.
Oh, wow. That's a big challenge, but it's so important for becoming fluent.
Right. You could start small. When you wake up, instead of thinking, I need coffee in your native language, try to think, I need coffee in English.
That's a great way to start. And gradually, you can try to think in English for longer periods of time.
Exactly. Even just 5 minutes of thinking in English is great practice.
And if you can't think of the English word for something, that tells you what vocabulary you need to learn.
Perfect point, Sarah. Now, what about Friday?
Friday should be fun. How about Film Friday?
I love it. What's the challenge?
Every Friday, you watch a short English video, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It could be a music video, a funny video, or a how-to tutorial.
Right. And the challenge is to watch it once with subtitles and then watch it again without subtitles.
Exactly. And maybe write down one new phrase or expression that you heard.
That's perfect. It's fun, it's relaxing, and it's great practice for listening skills.
And Friday's a great day for this because you're probably ready to relax after a long week.
Absolutely. Now, Saturday. What should Saturday be?
How about Social Saturday?
Ooh, what do you mean?
Well, every Saturday, you could practice your English social skills. Maybe send one text message in English or post one comment on social media in English.
That's great. It's real communication with real people.
Right. It doesn't have to be long or complicated. Even just have a great weekend or thanks for sharing counts.
And it helps you practice informal, everyday English, not just textbook English.
Exactly. Plus, you might make new friends who speak English.
Perfect. And finally, Sunday. What should Sunday be?
How about Summary Sunday?
I like that. What kind of summary?
Well, every Sunday, you could spend just 5 minutes thinking about your week and describing it in English.
Oh, that's really smart. So you're practicing speaking and also reviewing what you learned during the week.
Right. You could say things like, this week I learned 5 new words. My favorite was delicious. I also practiced my pronunciation with tongue twisters.
And it helps you see your progress, which is really motivating.
Exactly. Plus, it's a nice way to end the week and prepare for the next week of English practice.
I love all of these challenges. And listeners, remember, you don't have to do all of them. Just choose the ones that sound fun to you.
Right. The most important thing is to enjoy your English learning journey. If it's not fun, you probably won't continue doing it.
And you can always modify these challenges to fit your interests. Love cooking? Watch cooking videos on Film Friday. Love sports? Read sports news on What's Happening Wednesday.
Perfect point, Mike. Make your English practice personal and relevant to your life.
Absolutely. Now, let's wrap up this episode with some final thoughts and encouragement.
Wow, Mike, we've covered so much today. I hope our listeners are feeling excited about their 30-minute daily English practice.
Me too. Let's quickly summarize what we talked about today.
Great idea. First, we explained why 30 minutes of daily practice is better than longer study sessions once or twice a week.
Right. Remember, your brain is like a muscle. It needs regular exercise, not just one big workout.
Then, we gave practical ideas for reading, listening, speaking, and writing practice that you can do every day.
And we shared those fun mini challenges for each day of the week, from Word of the Day Monday to Summary Sunday.
The most important thing to remember is this: consistency is more important than perfection. It's better to practice for 30 minutes every day than to study for 3 hours once a week.
Exactly. And don't worry if you miss a day sometimes. That's normal. Just start again the next day.
Right. Learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Slow and steady progress is the best kind of progress.
And remember, all of the activities we mentioned today are free. You don't need to buy expensive courses or materials.
That's true. You can use YouTube, free podcasts, library books, and your own creativity.
Now, we have some homework for you. But don't worry, it's fun homework.
That's right. We want you to choose one activity that we mentioned today and try it for the next 7 days.
Just one. Maybe it's reading news articles for English learners, or watching English videos with subtitles, or keeping a simple English journal.
Choose something that sounds interesting to you. If you love music, maybe listen to English songs and read the lyrics. If you love cooking, watch English cooking videos.
The key is to start small and build the habit. Once you're comfortable with 30 minutes a day, you might naturally want to do more.
But remember, more isn't always better. It's better to do 30 minutes consistently than to do 2 hours and then burn out.
Absolutely. And here's something really important. Celebrate your progress.
Yes, every time you complete your 30 minutes of English practice, that's a victory. Be proud of yourself.
Learning a language is one of the most challenging things you can do. Every day you practice, you're doing something amazing.
And speaking of amazing, we want to hear about your progress. If you try any of the activities we mentioned today, let us know how it goes.
Right. You can leave us comments, send us messages, or share your experience with other English learners.
And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are millions of people around the world learning English just like you.
Some days will be easier than others. Some days you'll feel like you're making great progress, and other days you might feel stuck.
That's completely normal. Everyone experiences ups and downs when learning a language.
The most important thing is to keep going. Even on days when you don't feel like practicing, try to do just 5 minutes. Something is always better than nothing.
And be patient with yourself. Language learning takes time. You might not see huge improvements every day, but if you look back after a month or two, you'll be surprised by how much you've learned.
That's so true, Sarah. Progress in language learning is often invisible from day to day, but very visible from month to month.
Exactly. It's like watching a plant grow. You can't see it growing every day, but after a few weeks, you can definitely see the difference.
I love that comparison. Your English is growing every day, even when you can't see it.
And listeners, remember why you started learning English. Maybe you want to travel, or get a better job, or talk to friends from other countries.
Keep that motivation in your heart. On difficult days, remember your why.
Because English isn't just grammar rules and vocabulary lists. English is connection. It's the ability to communicate with people from all over the world.
It's watching movies without subtitles, reading books by your favorite authors, and having conversations with interesting people.
It's confidence, opportunities, and personal growth.
And you can achieve all of this with just 30 minutes a day. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. So here's our challenge for you. For the next week, practice English for 30 minutes every day. Use any of the methods we discussed today.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Learning should be enjoyable, not stressful.
After 1 week, notice how you feel. Do you feel more confident? Have you learned new words? Are you more comfortable with English sounds?
We bet you'll be surprised by your progress.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with other English learners. Learning is more fun when you do it with friends.
Absolutely. And don't forget to listen to our other episodes. We have lots more tips, techniques, and encouragement for English learners.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We know you have many choices for English learning resources, and we're honored that you chose to listen to us.
We believe in you. You have everything you need to improve your English. You just need to start and keep going one day at a time.
Remember, 30 minutes a day, consistency over perfection, and always be kind to yourself.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
This has been Beginner English, the podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. We'll see you next time.